So the website .mic and the Young Turks recently decided to highlight some police brutality. I guess with the recent assault on Alex Jones by Jimmy Dore, they're looking for some lighter news. Also, they hope to bolster some support for Black Lives Matter. A police officer in Austin, Texas recently arrested Breonna King during what can only be described as a routine traffic stop. Yes, the officer is white, and yes, Ms. King is black. So clearly, this is an example of police stepping over the line and just harassing some poor black innocent person. Let's watch the TYT clip first.
Oh my God! Put your hands behind your back. Oh my!
So you start the video there. No explanation of what happened prior. What could she have done to deserve that? Did she assault a police officer? Did she threaten him? Well, we don't really know, do we? Since you wouldn't do it, I went ahead and did your job for you and found the full dashcam clip. Let's see the first few moments of the exchange, something you decided to omit.
Man, take a seat back in the car, please. Take a seat back in your vehicle, please. Okay, man, we're being pulled over right now, so I need you to take a seat back in the car.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am, I'm not joking. Is your driver's license? You're being stopped for speeding.
But I'm already stopped, so technically can you stop me? Because
Yes,
you didn't
ma'am.
pull me over because I parked.
You only, ma'am, you were about to go inside without a wallet, so I know you were only coming here because you know I was coming to pull you over.
Mm-hmm.
So right from the start, she's trying to lie about what's going on. She can't even accept the fact that she was pulled over for some minor speeding violation. This does not start off good. Cops are not as dumb as you think they are. Miss King was going to the store when she was pulled over and didn't even bother to grab her purse or wallet? Please, we know better than that.
I can absolutely stop you if you've already parked, yes. Yes, it's your driver's license. All right, take a seat back in your car so we can close the door. Put your feet back in the car so I can close the door, please.
Could you please hurry up? Well, I won't say it. True, being rude is not a crime, and being rude to a police officer is not a crime. But when you are in the wrong, the best course of action is to be polite as possible. I have personally gotten out of speeding tickets and one illegal U-turn ticket for simply being polite to the police officer.
Hey, man, stand up for me, okay?
Okay.
No.
No, why are you
Get out of
touching me?
Stop resisting.
Oh my God!
Stop resisting.
Oh my God!
Stop resisting.
Where's the
Stop
bag?
resisting.
Where's
Stop resisting
I'm
right now.
not-
Get out of the car.
I'm getting out. Let me get out. Do not
Good, so I
touch me.
need one of Wendy.
Do not touch me.
Get out of the car
getting
now.
out. Ow! Oh my God!
Put your hands behind your back.
Oh my God, indeed. You are not complying with the officer's orders. Now look at you.
Put your hands behind your back. You are under arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
God, why are you doing this to me?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Put your hands behind
Oh
your
my
back.
God!
I'm about to tase you.
Leave me alone! Are you...
Put your hands behind your back.
Will you let me get down, please?
Get down.
I'm pissing off the stop. Are you...
And you're still trying to fight and resist. This even after you've been told you're under arrest. Honestly, at this point, your best course of action is to comply with the officer's orders.
Oh my God, I'm
Put your hands behind your back.
That's what I was doing! Are you serious? God.
Don't stand up.
I'm not trying to stand up. I'm trying to put my hands behind my back. Are you serious? You are full of bullcrap.
Quit moving your hands.
You just hit me so you can get them back. Are you...
Get up.
Ow! Bitch! Look at him!
Walk.
He's treating me like... He didn't do anything!
Put your feet.
What are you doing? I need a black police.
I need the black police? What exactly is that? Are you talking about Montrell Jackson, a well-respected police officer of Baton Rouge? Oh, wait, he was just recently gunned down and murdered by a BLM supporter. Now you're sitting in the back of a cop car, cuffed, getting ready to be processed. Sad? Yes. Avoidable? Most definitely. Not everyone is aware, but whenever a police officer arrests someone, they must recount the events to a supervisor at the scene. This does differ from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but the spirit remains. So let's take a look at what the officer said right after the arrest to his supervisor.
She was pretty far up ahead of me. I had to hit my lights and sirens, go through a couple of intersections. As I came up behind her, she hit the turn lane right here real quick and zipped into here and jumped out of the car. So I walked up and said, "Hey, can you stop, take you back in the car, you're being pulled over." She kind of argues a little bit, like, "Yeah, you're being stopped for speed, I need to see your driver's license, take your seat back in the car." She kind of hesitated to do all that. She starts arguing that I'm already pulled over, you can't pull me over, can you do that? I said, yeah, I can. And she's trying to say, "Well, I'm just geek." And I said, "Well, you were walking that way, but you didn't have your wallet with you. When I asked you for your ID, you had to go dig underneath your seat for your wallet. So I think you could pull me because you know I was going to pull you over." Anyway, she sits back down. So before I go back to the car, "Hey, put your feet back in," so I close the door. So I go do what I need to do. She tells me no. I tell her a couple times. She tells me no. So I'm not going to take the chance of her trying to walk off or do whatever. So I go to grab her to put her handcuffs secure in the car because she's not being cooperative, and she just starts fighting. I mean, she yanked her arm away and went towards the passenger side, so I just grabbed onto her because I didn't know what she was doing. And she was holding on to the steering wheel the entire time. I finally got her yanked out. Once we got out of the car, she took a swing at me. She missed. But as she swinging, I saw her coming, so I just threw her down. We got on the ground. I didn't want to hit her, so we just kept kind of wrestling.
She went to the passenger side? Why? To flee? To grab a weapon? The officer had no idea at the time. And I even missed the swing she took at him. But let's take a closer look. It's quick, but now I see it. Let's see it in really slow motion. This does not help your case, Miss King. But let's get back to the TYT. What did they think of the exchange?
A officer in Austin was recorded saying that blacks have violent tendencies, is the short of this. Breon King was being arrested by an officer in Austin, Texas, and it was caught on video. The officer slammed her to the floor, and then on the way to the police station, as she was in custody, started trying to explain why black people get such a bad rap in terms only, in my opinion, a racist can understand. Let's take a look.
Look at his smugness. So sad when you have to distort the facts to prove a point. Oh wait, that's called lying. Well, now we know what actually happened rather than what you only wanted to show us. Let's take a look at the clip from inside of the car during the drive back to the police station. Keep in mind, this is what the TYT wanted to show you.
There's so many people afraid of black people.
That's what I want to figure out.
I can give you a really good idea of why it might be that way. Violent tendencies. And I want you to think about that. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that I can prove it or nothing. But 99% of the time, when you hear about stuff like that, it is the black community that's being violent. That's why a lot of the white people are afraid, and I don't blame them.
Wow, that sounds pretty racist. And it's the little things that really help, like having her text in blue and his in red. Oh, but they edited it down a little bit. Perhaps we should take a look at the whole clip.
So have you ever done a clean sweep of the police where y'all just clear out all of the police system and then start all over?
The police department?
Mm-hmm.
I have heard of it being done in places, but I've never seen it done. Fortunately, I've never been a part of it.
Is that fortunately or unfortunately?
Yeah, because I don't know if I was to get fired just because.
Mm-hmm. But do you still believe that there's racism out there?
Yes. I do.
Well, she seems very civil now. But I do have to ask, what does racism have to do with what just happened?
So how do you find out?
Let me ask you this, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe it goes both ways?
I believe it does.
Well, I'm sorry. According to many feminist movements, Black Lives Matter, and what can only really be described as racist organizations, racism can only be against blacks or minorities. No one can be racist against a white male because they don't have power and privilege.
I do.
I do too.
But I believe that, I'm not gonna lie, I believe that Caucasians has more supremacy over black people. Just to be honest. They have more rights.
Name one right that a white person has over anyone else. You can't? No, I didn't think so. That's because they don't exist. A black has the same rights as a white, or as an Asian, or as a purple person. If anyone can show me a law that is currently on the books and that is clearly racist, I will personally help fight against that law.
A lot more people are a little afraid of black people because of everything. Honestly, what they're trying to do is they're trying to wipe out the...
Why are so many people afraid of black people?
That's what I want to figure out. Because I'm not a bad black person.
I can give you a really good idea why it might be that way.
Why?
Violent tendencies. And I want you to think about that. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that I can prove it or nothing.
Well, the tendencies are pretty well borne out in the facts and statistics. According to the FBI, blacks committed about 28.3% of the violent crimes in 2015, but only make up about 13% of the population of the United States. Blacks also committed 52.2% of the murders, 31.3% of the rapes, and 56.4% of the robberies. And it only gets worse when there's high black populations. Detroit, Michigan has a violent crime rate of 2,072 per 100,000 and a murder rate of 45 per 100,000. The black population in Detroit, 81.6%. If the statistics remain the same for the entire United States as it does for Detroit, Michigan, we would have over 137,000 murders per year. Currently, we're sitting at about 14,000 murders per year. Detroit is routinely rated as the worst or least safe city to live in the United States. And who is the most common victim of these crimes? Unfortunately, it's other black people. The black community has a growing cancer in it, and if treatment is not sought, it will prove fatal. Yes, there are many other factors besides race, but that does not disprove the statistics. Oh, and one more fact for your enjoyment. When you look at the total number of officers killed intentionally in 2015, basically meaning murdered, and look at the total number of black deaths by police in 2015, cops are 10 times more likely to die than your average of African American. Let's get back to the best part of this exchange.
By no means am I saying that there is no racism, because I know there is, and everybody knows there is. And, you know, I can throw that card just as easy as everybody else can. It doesn't do me a bit of good.
It does me no bit of good, the officer said. Well, you know what? Throwing out the racism card does nobody any bit of good. From the clip, we can see that the cop was not racist. Rather, the cop was trying to do his job with someone that decided to lie, resist the officer's orders, and try to assault the officer when all else failed. TYT and Mic decided to use the power of the edit to push their narrative that all cops are racist and all cops want to do is arrest and harass black people. Policing is a very difficult and dangerous job. The vast majority of people that choose to serve are the most upright and honest people imaginable. One of my close personal friends, whom I have served with in very dangerous situations, is currently a Texas state trooper. I know him on a personal level, and we have seen action together. And there is not a nicer, more honest person that can serve as an officer or a state trooper. To try to lump him into some group of racists is personally insulting. TYT and Mic are trying to push a narrative, mind you, a false narrative. A narrative that is failing, so they're reverting to lying about the facts of the situation. Those who must lie about the facts do not have them on their side. But a little food for thought. remember one very infamous quote from someone who was on the far left. If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. Adolf Hitler. If you like this video, please consider subscribing or send us a message on Facebook. We will be updating regularly.